Welcome to a Wednesday edition of Autoweek TV. In a moment, we'll take you on a journey to the wilds of Africa, so stick around. But first, here are a couple of quick news notes. Chrysler has launched a luxury series edition of the 300 sedan. Changes include plenty of leather in the interior, along with a heated steering wheel, wood trim, and die-cast paddle shifters. Under the hood is a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission mated to either the Pentastar V6 or Hemi V8. The luxury series Chrysler 300 goes on sale early next year. And the government is checking into rust issues on two vans, the Ford Freestar and the Chevrolet Express. NHTSA says it's looking into complaints of rust in the rear wheel wells of the 2004 Freestar and its Mercury twin. One concern is the rust affecting the mounting points for the third-row seats. NHTSA is also looking at a rust issue on the fuel pipe of the 2003 Chevy Express full-size van. The rust could result in a fuel leak. All right, the December 26th issue of Autoweek magazine includes our wish list, and one of those wishes was to take an African safari. Well, executive editor Roger Hart got his wish granted. Here's his report.
The venerable Land Rover Defender, a sport utility that has been around since 1990, is playing a role in the future preservation of Kenyan wildlife. The mostly diesel-powered Defenders are the basis for the modified safari cars that pound along the two-track trails that bring tourists into the bush country to view the wild animals in their natural element. The tourist dollars are what will ensure the animals remain able to be seen in their native habitat by future generations. For our annual wish list feature in Autoweek magazine, we went in search of a real safari experience to hunt the big five: the lion, African elephant, Cape buffalo, leopard, and rhinoceros, not with a rifle, but with a Nikon and a hefty telephoto lens. Big Five Tours and Expeditions in Stuart, Florida hooked us up with Perini camps in Kenya, and we went and lived among the animals for 8 days. Perini operates small camps inside vast conservancies where the land has been leased from the Maasai landowners. This gives visitors a non-commercialized opportunity to view the wildlife up close, and also the Maasai people in their natural habitat. The tribesmen work in the camps as porters, waiters, and chefs, as well as drivers and guides. And they also serve as camp guards. You cannot leave your tent at night without a spear-carrying, flashlight-toting Maasai alongside. The camps are in the middle of the animals, and it's common for them to come into the camps at night. Having a lion or some grass-munching hippos serve as your wake-up call is one of the true joys of being on safari. Game drives make up the bulk of time all on safari. The British-built, right-hand drive Defenders seem right at home in Kenya, a one-time British colony that in 2014 will mark its 50th anniversary of independence from the mother country. And while that early association might have had something to do with the Land Rovers being introduced to Kenya over, say, US-built Jeeps, spending a few days bouncing up and down on what passes for roads in Kenya, not to mention slogging through the deep red clay mud, pounding over rocks and fording streams, you begin to get the feeling that Land Rovers were designed with Kenya in mind rather than a sheep farm in the Midlands. Off-roading is a way of life in Kenya, not something one does for recreation. And Kenya may be one of the easiest foreign countries for Americans to visit. English is spoken everywhere, and we found the US dollar is also very welcome. As for the camps, we found the tents to be spacious and comfortable, with double and single beds, as well as en-suite bathrooms with flush toilets and a wash basin. The bathrooms are also equipped with safari showers, which give you 20 liters of hot water. The food is good and plentiful, with bottled water readily available. We were amazed at both the volume and size of the insects. There are flying bugs the size of your fist. For a typical Kenyan safari, expect to pay about $500 per day, plus airfare. Safari days start early. You wake up with the birds and the animals, and many days include a picnic lunch in the wilds. We quickly became fans of what the locals call a sundowner. That's a cocktail in the wilds as a sunset. Watching the last bit of the day's light reflect off Mount Kilimanjaro while sipping a cold gin and tonic around a campfire is a pinch-me kind of moment that will be remembered for a long time. For Autoweek, I'm Roger Hart.
That was cool. Takes me back to the days of watching Marlon Perkins and Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. That's it for today. Use the break between football bowl games to catch up with the auto world at Autoweek.com. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, enjoy the drive. Thanks for watching today's edition of Autoweek TV. Be sure to catch all the latest car enthusiast news on Autoweek.com, in Autoweek magazine, and in Autoweek's iPad edition.